time I will be performing die Wolke from Der Freischütz by Weber.
So what are you working on with this so far?
I'm working on not overblowing the high note and keeping keeping it slender and in line, and navigating, because it is kind of like, oh, it's chesty, and it's it, and then it does a lot, yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. Okay, so two main things, and then like however these work for you, and then we'll keep going. I'm a big scaffolder, like, we start with the things that sort of would be the easiest things to sort of adjust and go from there. I'm a big proponent of the full body, not just the face and the torso, being a part of the character. And I think one thing that happens very often is we feel stuck. And I'm not saying that you have to move, but I want to feel like your lower body is part of this sense of lift and like pull and tug and swirl, so that you get a sort of 360-degree pivot, right? Because sometimes what I was noticing is when you get to the big notes, you would do the lift, and then the lower body would just be disconnected, right? And it's not that, I'm not going to talk about breath, because breath is fun. I am not a big breathy person. But I think the idea here is, if you get a little more, with heels, it is hard to want to keep the knees loose.
Yeah.
But just do a little of this right now.
Yeah.
A little side to
Oh,
side.
I'm a big knee locker.
Yeah, do a little side to side knee.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the other thing, there's two things. And your ah vowel, the tongue has to go back, right? It's just part of an ah. But how far it has to go back is up to you. So I think if we allow the tongue to be a little more wide, then probably should warm up, fine. But you give yourself a little more access to other resonance spaces. Now, the fun thing about what we do is that for the most part we're not mic'd. I mean, I've been mic'd before. It's happened, because of different stages. You can't work around it. Which means every room's gonna have a different acoustic signature, right? So how do you know you are really filling a space? Not to get like science.
It hurts my own ears.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you feel the resonant frequency being
Yeah.
Now, did you feel that when you were singing it? And I'm not saying this is not a song where you're gonna blast people, right? But we want to find it to where it like washes over. To where the audience is like, yes, that's very present. It's not overwhelming, right? But it is really coming to me. So can you put your hand here and go, woo! Good. Shake your knees a little bit. Here we go. Do it again. You can all know those high notes. Ever so suddenly, tongue goes. So instead of it going, kind of go. That little means the tongue wants to go, like, but like, what if I go like here? So in that moment, to be honest, if they were sitting in an audience, they would not hear that. All right? One of the coolest things about singing with people is that you hear all the extra noises that they make, right? You go in the hall and you're like, that sounds amazing. You get next to them, you're like, what is it?
Yeah.
Like, are you dying?
Yeah.
Are you okay? And it's because, like, in order for them to get that sound out, they have to find positions that get the sound out. And this is the essence of do not listen to yourself, right? I think very often teachers say that in an attempt to be like, oh, don't like hold on to it. But I actually think I feel like you're at a level where you can, instead of thinking don't hold on to it, think how can I provide myself the easiest process to get that sound through those windows? Make sense? Yeah. Okay, so can we start again? Use the vowels. Anytime you feel the tongue when you go, it's actually very interesting because as you get to high notes and sustain, your jaw locks and ever so slightly trembles. Which is a good thing in a way because you know when it's happening that you're locked. So if you feel it happen, you're like, oh there, feel what? And my tongue's wide, can my jaw be tight?
I don't know, I'm pretty good at
All right, well, sure. We start from the top one more time. So do like in the lead in, just like shake. Oh yeah. And then when you feel it, very, very loud. Maybe like 2 before. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, and what did it sound like to you?
It's just the sound got out.
Yeah.
And I wasn't listening so much in my head.
Yeah, it's also much more, to me, the mix is more indicative of where it needs to be in this section of your voice. You know, we'll get stuck, I know it's stuff in how like you have to think of it adjusting, right? But you feel how much more, I don't know what it's called, thickness there is to it. Yeah, so that already has easier carrying, okay? And did you even hear that at all? No, because the text, your text is pretty good. So like as you're letting that happen, let's keep going. Can we go to? Oh yes, why not? Just like 2 minutes, 4 minutes later, yeah. Yeah. So start it here, and then when you get to the high note, I want you to. There's a little bit of tongue still.
Yeah.
All right. So when you're thinking of singing high notes, do you have particular vowel shapes, blah blah blah, that you do?
I like E, but that's.
Of course you love E.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you? I mean, why not love E? Trouble should love E.
Yeah.
Why do we love E?
Because it gets my tongue out of my throat. That's why I love E.
So why can't we make that ah? Or is it cloud? Yeah. So Allah is even harder because you want to go Allah. So Every L as an English speaker should be Italian. Because what do we do with L's? Like whole tongue's like oh. Right. So can you actually think of it sort of waving? So we're gonna go like really weird. The middle of the tongue, the top middle, is you're gonna try to like go in front of your bottom teeth as you name to it. The vowel is going to change the resonance pretty dramatically. Just go with it, right? Okay, can we just do face spot actually? There's good in that leader too. There's two claws there that you can do wrong. I think one is claw as well. Does it sound wide?
No.
So why does it feel wide, do you think?
Because I'm not sending it straight
back.
Yeah,
okay, so how many of you have been told you gotta like, my old teacher said you got a double dome. You got a dome here, you put another dome on top of it, and that's what you sing.
Yeah.
That dome. Not the first dome. You skip the first dome, you go to the second dome. Okay? So we're always taught to do this, right? Because we think the soft palate has to lock. The issue with locking the soft palate, everyone lock their soft palate? We lock our larynx. What happens? The jaw starts to shake. Because what's going to happen? The pressure is going to build in muscles. This is why shaking, right? Because you want the vibrato still, so it's like this, and then it does that.
Yeah.
But what we want is, instead of it like locking, we want it to have that like, the rose idea has always been a great one. It's like, there's a lift. And the funny thing is, a lot of people think, oh, I'm breathing through my nose. My soft palate's not lifting. Neat. Soft palate lifts, you breathe in your nose. Breathe in your nose. Okay, breathe in your mouth. It's gonna lift. It lifts because in order for the trachea to open, it has to descend ever so slightly. When it descends, the levitator goes up. It's an antagonistic muscle. And so as a result, we're always dealing with that height. Now, I'll have students that like to sing like this. And then I'm like, okay, well, perhaps we could just like, right? That's what you do. You're already in a good shape. Now you just have to find a way to get that air to move. And actually, so you were talking at the beginning how you want to swallow the air. I think as you get to the top, let it burst through. It's not that you're gonna go, but like go like this and like let it open. Because that's what will then give you that ease, and that tug that you're feeling will give over to airflow. Because once it's airflow, you can do it all the time. When it's muscle, that's what ends careers. Right? You can be as talented as you want to be, but if you're going to see too much muscle, you will wear it out at some point. Just nature. Right? Okay, can we do that one more time?
Yeah.
And then we'll be, I think that's it. Never apologize for your sound. If you give a little too much, someone might be like, that's a little too much. But I have rarely seen someone be like, that's too much sound. I mean, I've only seen it one time and I was like, that's an inappropriate note to give. Okay, so does that make sense to you? Like, so the idea is, and then as you keep physicalizing this motion, it'll loosen this even more. Right? There was still a little bit, but it was not nearly as like small blocks. It was like sort of like there. And it's just the first steps to allow you to just drop. Okay? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Who's next?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mikaela Pace, and I will be singing Wolke from Hansel and Gretel.
Ach, ich
Okay, cool. How'd that go? How do you feel?
I feel really good. I know that there's obviously things I need to work on. I'm working a lot on my tongue tension and telling the story. I've worked a lot on technique with this, and
Totally.
I've just been being told, Mikaela, get out of your head. Now it's time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, of course. You know, all the technical stuff is obviously practice room coaching stuff. That's great. So when you're in the space, yeah, just let it go. See what happens, right? Let the moment take you. Let the character express in a way, and if it's going a different way, you're like, all right, let's just see what happens. Oh, I thought you were just listening. I thought you asked a question. Oh, no. And like, okay, so I think the thing I'm thinking of for this review is, what do I call it? Call it a little bit of resonance expansion, okay? I think sometimes this is what happens with consonant grammar, very often. Very often you're like, I'm a child. I have to sing like child in order to make child happen. But you're not a child. And it's just like anything else. This is my favorite story is when I tell this. The first time I saw The Crucible, who knows The Crucible? The Robert Ford opera. Just everyone, yeah, you know, at least the movie, right? The movie. But you know, Abigail Williams is often sung by like a 50-year-old woman, you know, and she has to pretend to be, what, 16, 17, you know, like, you know, an underage person, you know. So what I want to find is an ease about it and let the expressive tendencies tell people that you're young. Does that make sense? I don't know if this is something that's registering with you or not, but I just think the idea is I want a little more expansion on the top and the bottom. So can you just take your fingers and find the bridge of your nose? Okay, so I want you to pinch a little, yeah, so I want you to breathe in your nose. Good, how was that feel to you?
Relaxing.
Yeah. I think your breaths are a little intense. Now, whenever breaths are intense, I recommend a couple things. If it's a big dramatic moment, like you're slurping in the straw, people are like, but you can hear that. And it's like, I don't care if you sound good, I don't care how loud your breaths are. Or the other thing is the dual breath. If you breathe in through your nostrils and your mouth. Yeah. Yeah, you feel that sort of centering? Yeah, it's like a half yoga-ish breath, you know, unless you're doing the hop up there and then they're like, and then hold on to it. All right, so do you feel that centering? I think that is that when you breathe like that, you feel that opening nose happening innately. So instead of thinking I have to be in a position, you're allowing your breath to put you in that neutral. Does that make sense? Okay, so can we just do it from if you think of a tiny bit of that sound going right into those fingers, just the whole time. Good. Watch that you don't like over tilt down, yeah? I still want that nice neutral breath. So that you're sort of in like alignment rather than in compression. Does that make sense? It's okay. So does that feel? So as you're going higher, does it feel like you have to do something to get higher?
Feels like it's going back.
Yeah. So as it's going back, what do you feel happening internally? Like what is your proprioception of what you're doing?
Trying to open up the backspace.
Yes. Now, opening up the backspace. What does that mean?
The dome.
Okay. And what does that mean?
Opening up the door.
So, what does this have to do with opening the door?
It's just.
So, I'm opening backspace. I'm holding the lyrics now, right? Do you hear that? And I hit a ceiling. But if I like allow it, just I can just sort of go. Does that make sense? Now, am I thinking about lifting and all that? No, I mean, like when I was younger, I did think about it, but then I sort of got out of the way because I realized it was stopping efficiency. And so what I want you to think about is just be okay with just like making a weird noise. If it feels a little too bright to you, it's okay. Okay, try one thing. Yeah, that's better. How's that feel? things get a little bit like what to do, this is what you're gonna do. Now, I'm not saying this is not a choice that's viable in science, but usually when you're super deep, you're pretty high, you want to loosen it a little bit more. So if you start here and then you go up, then it's gonna be tight. If you're loose here and then as you're up there, you can like tilt it, then you're probably in a good position. Does it make sense? I'm a big fan of if anything is restricting your motion, then it is inhibiting your ability to free flow. And then what happens is the muscles have to start doing something. Can we go to the too-liddy, luddy-luddy, lotty-loo part? Holiday nice part. All of those consonants, we think of being very tiny. Even more with like the front of the tongue. All the consonants there. Okay, we try it. Restarting the whole game, every articulate. Let like the rhythm help you. Okay. So it just feels like you're bouncing on like, you ever saw one of those yoga balls? It's like you're bouncing on a yoga ball. Okay, right? Right now, and then the last thing, high notes. Now, what are you thinking of for that? What is it? D something? Yeah, what are you thinking of there?
I'm thinking, let everything drop in my body, like nothing to do with this, and think of high cheekbones, tongue is just relaxed, it's just hanging, and just think ah. Ah?
You think ah?
Ah.
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 So that's ah.
Ah.
Closer. Ah.
Ah.
Like quacky quack quack.
Quacky quack quack.
Well, you feel like, so we hear it saying quacky quack quack. I don't want to lift. Quacky quack quack.
Quacky quack quack.
Yeah, so high notes of that nature are not a lift. The lift's going to happen because it has to happen. High notes of that nature are a and they can't be like a, they're like a, the air is not, the air does shrink as we get high because the folds are so stretched that they don't need a lot of air. And what happens is we send too much air, then we bring down, quick science moment, we bring down the registration, and so it starts to feel like A or B flat instead of a D. And a D should feel like a D because it should be heading toward whistle time, if not B, sort of pre-whistle time. Make sense? We don't want I can't whistle yet. I'm working on it. And then be quieter. I don't want to go down. Yeah. There you go. That's better. That's better. And so, what are you afraid of?
I'm scared of not reaching the no.
Yeah. Has she not reached it yet? So why are you afraid to the Jimmy flat?
Why am I afraid?
Your muscles are telling you this is wrong.
Yeah.
Which is fine, honestly. Proprioception is the nature of the game, right? Singing is about confusing our body because singing is kind of unnatural. Well, that's not the primary or secondary function of what these things are meant to do. So, now, how hard was that to do? Let's talk about that.
Not hard.
Not hard, physically, right?
Right.
Mentally, what's happening? All right, lean into the mental what's happening. I promise you will not die. You can do it like probably 25 times without it hurting. Okay, try again. But like, you see what we're doing, like, going, ah.
Okay.
Yeah, so the ah. Your mouth actually getting smaller.
My mouth needs to get smaller?
For the D.
Okay.
Just, I want you to try it. We'll see. I mean, like, I don't like talking in
Smaller
right
or
or
wide?
wrong. Yeah, why?
Okay.
Oh, that's closer. So do you feel how you want to feel it?
Feel like,
You want to feel the D.
yes.
Yeah, you can't feel the D. Because D's are like whistles. When do you whistle? Do you whistle?
No, I can't whistle.
Ah, okay, well there it is. Okay. So that feeling that's weird, that's like out there, it doesn't feel controlled. It sounds really shrill, probably. Super shrill to you. That's your whistle. And that's what's gonna unload as you get to the D. And that'll make you able to hold the D for it forever. Forever. Because a whistle is just like, what's a whistle? You know? Okay? So as you're getting up to the top, if it feels thinner, smaller, shriller, if it feels heavier, thicker, like you gotta do more. All right, let's just try it one more time, and then I think we gotta move on. Yeah. Oh, now we're getting closer. Now, what does that feel like? Does it hurt?
No.
Okay, good. Good. Now, what does it sound to you? Crazy?
Like an E.
Oh, okay,
My
good.
tongue is going.
So why, okay, oftentimes a lot of people when they talk about the whistle, they say it feels like a buzzy E. Why do you think that? Have you had any acoustics in your life?
What do you mean?
Like acoustic information given to you? Like basically how sound works in a space?
I guess it depends on.
Oh, okay. Well, this is a good teaching though, right? When we think of we have a darkness to it, right? Because of the nature of the sound. The vowel in and of itself innervates certain frequencies and then diminishes certain frequencies. So the vowel by in nature is not going to be super high. But when we think of an E, it has a lot of they call it formant too. Basically, it's a boosting bandwidth, and that is higher up in there. So the higher that goes, what happens is you start to feel like it lingers in that higher spot as opposed to the lower spot. One of the things that's really interesting and exciting about singing is that in order to sound cohesive from the top to the bottom, you have to, in a way, have about 50 voices that you just interconnect. Now, are they like, is it like the movie Split, where like they're like 30 completely different personalities? No, they're like the 5 personalities that are kind of the same, but they are different. And the sensation of them is different because you have to offload to get to different sections. The hard part about this aria is that it starts in the basement, it hangs out into the sancho, and then you have to sing a high D, right? It's kind of like the Count's aria. Just like there's like one note that everyone's worried about, right? So when you're building toward finding that precision, allow yourself the idea that hey, sound happens because the space allows it to happen, not because I'm overproducing it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because when you're finding that, I mean, you'll hear it, you'll be like, that is a crazy sound. Like, it's not refined, it's not in the place where you want to present it, probably. But that's where you find release. Right, if you watch a lot of people that sing it, they'll go like, ah, or they'll go like, ah, or they'll do something like that. You will very rarely hear someone go, ah. I'm not saying it's not possible, because I worked with someone that could bring her head voice up to F, and I was like, I'm actually a little uncomfortable right now. This room is too small for this amount of sound. But that goes away. Anything that's muscular goes away. I don't know how to say it, because like I'm almost 40 and like lots of stuff has gone away. Lots of stuff is open too, right? Knowledge just helps, but it gets harder as you get older. But the more you can think, hey, how can I make this easier? That's the key. Okay? All right, thank you. Last victim.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Waggoner. I'm 22 years old, and I'll be singing Lieben. Strauss's Ariadne auf Naxos.
Lieben, Hassen, Hoffen, Zagen, Lust und alle Qual, alles kann ein Herz ertragen, ein anderes andermal. Alle Väter Lust und Schmerzen abgestorben, auf der Pein, was ist tödlich deinem Herzen, und so musst du hier nicht sein. Musst dich aus dem Dunkel heben, versaut neue Qual, leben musst du liebes Leben, leben auf dieser
Great. Okay, how do you feel?
Feel pretty good. Sometimes like we have talked a lot about myself getting stuck singing.
Oh, okay, so is that what you're mainly working on, trying to unstuck yourself?
Yeah, I think for me, when I'm in a position of just being in the piano, it's really easy to just stay there and not forget everything, forget the character, forget
Gotcha.
the acting portion of it.
Yes. So, I mean, the show is the whole show within the show, within the show. And, this kind of comes out of almost nowhere in a lot of ways. Just a little levity before we get to this awesome.
Yeah.
This show is awesome. Okay, one of the things I want to do is, what's your best leg?
Probably my left though.
Okay, so I want you to stir the pot with your right leg. And can you go me?
Me.
Good. Keep that tongue nice and good. Me.
Me.
Good. So, how does that feel? Let's start there.
Good. It feels ringier in my nose, I would say.
Good. Let's lean into that anymore. Me. Imagine it's like the only thing that's ringing.
Me.
Yeah, but even more me. Good. One more time. Okay, so what does that feel like to you in terms of resonance?
Like I said, I can feel the buzzing in my nose a lot more than I normally can. Yeah.
Good. Okay, so let's start this again. Okay? And I want you to allow whatever you just did to come into it.
Okay.
Lieben, Hassen. So we can just allow it to sort of live in that zone, eh?
Okay.
Lieben, Hassen, Hoffen, Zagen, Lust und alle Qual.
Lust. Let it follow that.
Allen Lust.
So do you feel how when you go to the ooh, it goes.
Yeah.
Okay, so the reason we want to keep it closer to the is because that's the only way I'm going to hear it.
Okay.
Is it not? It's going to kind of be like.
Yeah. Okay.
So just try again.
Lust.
So you know how the ooh wants to go ooh.
Yeah.
If I go you know me?
You.
Yeah, good, do it again.
You.
Yeah, you feel that ooh has a little bit of E in it?
Mm-hmm.
It's a little mixy.
Yeah.
Yeah, try that one.
Lust.
Why does Lu become a throat vowel?
Well, the tongue wants to fall back.
Yeah. So the U vowel, the tongue has to do what? Has to go.
Drop. Yeah, go back.
Goes up and back, right? Now, the reason is because it's the only way to make a sound. But the fun part is the E vowel is up and fronted. So if we find a place between the two, so we go me, then I can find something in between.
Okay.
Right? And that's what we're looking for. I'm not singing ooh up there.
Yeah.
The position of the throat is ooh-ish, but I'm not holding it.
Okay.
I feel like you're getting a little, you know. Now, one of the things that happens sometimes, and the reason I want you to keep doing this, is do you feel how it's kind of lock the belly a little bit? Yeah. Now, again, no shade to anyone, but anytime anything is locked, what happens?
Everything else is locked.
Yeah, other muscles have to do it, right? Tighten your eyes right now. What happens to your throat? Yeah, why does it get tight? Because it's all connected. Pressure. It's like when you're lifting a box, they're like, don't just lift it with, get your legs involved so that the muscles can help. Everything works in tandem, right? So if this is getting tight, that's gonna hurt. You're gonna have to do that.
Yeah.
Right? And we don't want that because again, you're 22, you have a lifetime of singing. I want you to sing for a lifetime. I want you to get paid to sing for a lifetime. So like, you have to find ways to offload extra, right? Because you're already tall, good for you. So you got that working for you. So you have to keep everything sort of broadening. Now, I want you to think of, instead of the support mechanism, we're just going to play with it. Instead of support mechanism being a grip, can it feel like you're trying to like spread your support out amongst the floor?
Okay.
Like this weird image came to mind. Does anyone remember the Ariadne dress from like a Mikaela like 10 years ago? Okay. And it's just like this huge train and it's all over the floor. And I just want you to think of your support moving in that direction. Yeah, if you have to do this while you're doing it, yeah. Okay. So can we start again? Lieben Hassen.
Lieben Hassen, Hoffen, Zagen, alles.
I think I was.
That's closer. You feel as you have to loose?
Yeah.
You tightened?
Yes. Okay.
Just air. You know?
Yeah.
You should be able to do all sorts of crazy stuff. The thing about it is an F is not going to be a high note forever.
No.
Nor should it be.
No.
And so like you're going to have to make it feel like it's just.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. The other thing is, you're doing great. The diction's very clear. I would say it's too clear. It's inhibiting resonance. Right? I know there's a lot of hands in here, so I apologize. But like it's just like Lieben, Hassen, Hoffen. It's like living in that zone. And almost it should be Lieben, Hassen, Hoffen.
Yeah.
Use the consonant. Zagen, Halleluja. Halleluja.
Okay.
So L's one go.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Halleluja. I am Italian.
Lieben Hassen, Hoffen, Zagen, alles. Und alle Qual, alles kann ein Hütte tragen, einmal das andere Mal.
Felt good until I got to when it started reaching the passaggio. I felt a shift.
Yes. You want to a little bit. The O vowel is, I think, where your throat should live right.
Okay.
On everything.
Yeah.
Auf der part of the voice, right? So if you sing with a slightly elevated, someone's gonna be like, oh, you poor tenor baby. And who knows, maybe you're 10, maybe you're not, you're 22. Like, things could change dramatically. You could stay baritone, you could be high baritone, you could be low baritone. Right? It doesn't matter. What I want to find is as much looseness as it can give me. Okay? Right? So, you can go, oh, baritone, and then sort of switch into the text while allowing. It's going to affect how the vowels come out, but it will give me much more of that resonant structure. Okay? Gotcha. I call this bass stuff. So instead of like, oh, so we're gonna actually think of it being like, oh, stick out and go to heaven, where is heart and light above. You know it's already shifted? Because I can go, then I have to do that. Yeah. Right? And we want to just shift, so it paints a whole color. It's gonna feel overly wolfy at first. Okay. But once the tongue loosens, it'll be less unbelievable. We just start there. Oh, I'm a big giant man.
Feels like I'm doing way less work. Yeah. Kind of like that vowel, adding that color of that vowel to everything.
Okay, so I love new vocal pedagogy. I love old as dirt vocal pedagogy. I love the ones where you're like, I don't know what this means, vocal pedagogy. But one of the things that comes a little bit from the Italian school is they talk about how the larynx makes all the vowels. Now, that makes absolutely no logical sense, but what I will say that I do think they get correct is because of the lowered laryngeal position of opera, right? The nature of we have to build resonance so that we can be heard. You know, they're never talking about like shoving like, they say, you know, very much just like there's a ooh and ooh and ooh and ooh in there. And that's because those vowels, they release the musculature. So if I'm going like ooh, it will drop naturally. If I go like, ooh, ooh. So if you think of the oh, which is a little more open, right? Eventually when you get to the side G, it'll be more ooh. But right now in the middle, other parts, oh. You hear how that changes how even like, yeah, but don't hold it. There you go. You go, even though it doesn't feel like it's as low, that positioning allows for the resonance to have more sparkle on the top of the bottom. The whole point is to expand as much possible resonance as you have, and then hope that someone wants to hire it. I mean, that's the key, right? Because it doesn't, I mean, you can be the greatest singer in the world, and if someone doesn't like the timbre of your voice, it doesn't matter. Or you can be, your timbre could be terrible timbre, but like, you are fun to work with, and you'll get hired all the time. Right? And so the industry is a fun game, right? You want to be nice, you don't want to be suck-uppy, you want to be proficient, but you want to show, especially when you're young, that you still have room to grow, right? And you know, these sort of things where you're developing is really important. I mean, every day I'm learning something new about myself, whether it's how to say words, or like things about my resonance, like this idea of like opening that bottom in order to allow the top to ring is something that I was never taught. Okay. I was just taught, hold it down and it'll be fine. Yeah. Right? You know, and then it's, you know, and as I got older, I was like, I couldn't do it, for sure. When I turned 26 was when I could not just sing based on talent. And a lot of my friends that were at Waggoner class with me, actually, 2013, when we had 2013, that was only 11 years ago. Half of them don't sing anymore. And they were singing at WNM. They were singing all over the place. They didn't learn how to sing. And it's not that they were bad. No, they were great. God, they were great. Their voices were incredible. They were great on stage and they had such presence. But they never got to the point where they could shift their mindset to allow the fact that as you age, things change. And it's cool. That's the joy of life. And like when you're on this journey with your voice, you start discovering, oh hey, I can do more and more stuff. And if something starts working as well, you're like, okay, why is this so tight?
Yeah.
Oh, because I've been doing it like that the whole time when I could just do it like that the whole time. And it's these subtle changes of the musculature, these tiny muscles that really ensure that you have longevity. We want everyone to sing forever, right? Even when you get to like old person church choir, you got that wobble. I still want you to sing because like I think that's adorable. You know, it can also still be fixed at that point. But like you know, at that point, you know, let people be. But I think it's important to listen to your team and take care of yourself, but also trust yourself. Right? If you're singing, I've had so many lessons where I was like, that is not easier. And they're like, that's it, perfect. And I was like, I've been doing it for like 3 weeks and it has not gotten easier. It's not working. You know, don't sell your voice out because someone has a claim. Sell your voice out to yourself where you're like, yeah, actually that does feel simpler. That is richer, that is easier, or that is a little wacky, why is that not working? Okay? All right, thank you.